burned. Similar attacks in all the home nations of this kingdom, in Northern Ireland, in Wales and in England. What's going on? Our friend Samantha Smith is here. What do you make of this, Samantha?
Well, I think that something like this has been a long time coming. This is the result of years and years of anti-British propaganda, disunity and disinformation perpetrated by the so-called progressive left, particularly in Scotland, as we've seen with the Edinburgh War Memorial. This is, I'd say, the responsibility falls at the feet of the SNP. Last week we saw poppies being worn by SNP members of Parliament, members of Scottish Parliament, saying vote yes, flying completely in the face of what Remembrance Day is intended to be about. You know, remembering the brave men and women that gave their lives fighting for our freedom and our democracy. The SNP and other so-called progressives, the Be Kind Brigade that we know and love so much, have desecrated every aspect of our history and our national identity. Nothing is safe. We've seen statues, museums, memorials, all targeted by vandals and arsonists.
Do you think that's basically an indulgence of the left because they can tear down statues in various parts of the country and indulgent judges will let them get away with it? Do you think that this is all then part of a logical continuum? You don't like the statue of this particular bloke, so you tear it down. And to your surprise, suddenly all British history is suspect, including the most solemn occasion of the year.
Exactly. I think that what we're seeing is the normalization of criminal behavior and vandalism. Let's treat these criminals like what they are. They aren't protesters. They aren't activists. They're criminals, and they deserve to be locked in jail and have their key thrown away. Frankly, there's nothing more disrespectful to British society and to the public and to the fabric of our very nation than desecrating war memorials. Whether or not you agree with the personal politics of the Conservative Party or the Labour Party or the SNP or whoever, that gives you no excuse to desecrate the memorials of those brave servicemen and women who gave their everything for our freedom and our democracy. They gave their lives for people to have the freedom to go and burn down the poppies on their own memorials. It's just absolutely outrageous that this sort of behaviour is being condoned and normalised in society today.
Well, that's an interesting way of looking at it, but they did indeed give their lives. Whether they gave their lives for the fractious, self-loathing hellhole, tribalized hellhole of modern Britain, where people are essentially at war with their own history, where 80% of young people do not have a positive view of the Prime Minister who led us to victory in the Second World War. Maybe it's just as simple as the fact we no longer have enough in common even to agree that these war memorials are a good thing. You know, if you don't have anything in common, it's hard to have common sense.
I think this entire issue, so with Just Stop Oil protesters, with the Albanians wrapping their flag around Churchill's statue, with the burning of poppy wreaths in the Edinburgh War Memorial and others around the country, this is the definition of first world problems. In my opinion, the so-called progressive left are trying to rip the very fabric of our nation apart. Nothing is safe until we are completely miserable and self-loathing and paying reparations for the rest of our lives, for crimes that we did not commit, for sins that we have no bearing on, for this ridiculous culture war that seems to be more intent on tearing down the things that this nation built ourselves up on, the pride, the democracy, the history of our very nation is being threatened by those who would see it burn to the ground in an instant, as we've seen with the Edinburgh War Memorials.
Well, that's very true. But to honour the past, it has to be your past. You mentioned the Albanians. Obviously, if you just got off a dinghy at Folkestone, this isn't your past, the Edinburgh War Memorial. But increasingly, for a large number of English, Scottish, Irish, Welsh people lived here all their lives, they reject this shared past too, and that is an issue. Thank you very much, Samantha. It's